Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Links and this is Links Art. In this channel, I give you tips, tricks, techniques to get your artworks done in no time. So if you're one in the group, make sure to click the subscribe button, ring all the bell so you don't miss any of my tutorials when I release them. Today's video is specifically made based on a request from a subscriber asking I do a video on the brushes I use and the names and brands of the brushes for my drawings. So today I'm going to be showing you all the brushes I use for my drawings, the names, if at all there is any specific brand of brush I use, and as well the way I use them, why I use them the way I do. And lastly, I'm going to be showing you all the blending tools I use for any of my drawings. So this is a little bit exciting to me because what I'm about showing you might not be what you might even be expecting. Once more, I would love you to click the subscribe button. It might cost you nothing, but it means a lot to me and the channel, so make sure to do that as we move on to the video. So without any further ado, let's just crack the box. Okay guys, so welcome back. When it comes to all the tools I use for my blending, as you can see here, these are literally every single tool I use for any kind of drawing at all when I want to draw. Now I'm going to be straight and direct to the point with regards to the questions that was imposed. Now let's ignore the fact that we are seeing other things around here which I'm going to explain later on. Switching our attention to the brushes we are seeing here. This particular one you are seeing here, I don't normally use it for any specific detailing or blending. I only use this to clean off charcoal or graphite powder on my paper so things don't get messy on my artwork. With that said, moving to these three are the brushes I use. I'm the kind of person that love narrowing down the tools I use for my drawing. I love using one particular thing to achieve a whole lot of things, and I don't like using too many materials because that gives me the time to focus on my artwork and I don't always need to pick one item or the other. So now the brushes I use for my drawing are specifically three. These three you are seeing here. These I use for ideal detailing, that is on a specific area when I want to create some kind of faded lines on a specific area. It's not at every point in time you take up your graphite pencil and start drawing on your artwork, because sometimes it can create strokes which is not really ideal when you are creating realistic artwork. So this guy can be a lifesaver when you want to create some kind of skin pulse, or you just want to create some kind of blurry strokes or lines on your artwork. And this is best for detailing, and it's what I use to blend those tiny dot-like shades on my artwork. Majorly for detailing, that is what I use this small tiny brush to do. And this is quite similar. So this I use to shade collective areas. I can just dip this inside my charcoal or graphite and use it to shade areas like this, some collective regions, not majorly for specific detailings. So this guy can be said to be this brush in a little bit bigger form for more bigger details. Moving to the next one and the final brush I use is this big guy here. This brush you are seeing here I use to normally shade backgrounds and wipe off remains of graphite and charcoal on my paper, just like this. But this guy comes very handy when I am trying to create very dark backgrounds or grayed out backgrounds. It works very well when you dip these inside your charcoal or graphite and try to blend a whole area. So now for a little demonstration with my graphite on my paper, I just use this brush to just easily smear everything around and create that dark value I want. And this can be very fast because the brush is a little bit wide. And one thing I love about using this brush to make my dark values is that it's kind of consistent. It does not get this irregularity with regards to the background. Some places getting too dark and some places getting too bright. It's just very nice when I make backgrounds with it. So I can manipulate this to do a whole lot of things when it comes to making background. And this is basically what I use this brush for. When it comes to creating very smooth textures on my artwork, or if I'm trying to blend out areas like this or try to get that initial shade on my drawing, I don't normally use brushes to shade areas like this. I have discovered that a beauty blender tends to work way better when it comes to blending. If you've not seen something like this before, this is normally used by makeup artists for their facial beautification and blending. It works very well when you use this to blend charcoal or graphite on paper. When it comes to creating very smooth and light shade or layer by layer shade, there is nothing compared to this. If you'd want to test it out, you can go ahead and get this from any makeup shop. It is very cheap to get. Another thing I still use, which is kind of a replacement to my curtains or earbud, which we can see here. This is not an earbud, it's an eyeliner. I don't really know the name, just to be honest. I think this is an eyeliner. Now this guy here is much like a replacement to this guy, as it blends way better than your earbud, and this guy over here is a replacement to any curtain at all I use for blending. A lot of persons use curtains for blending, but I don't use curtains for blending. This tends to be way better for me. When I blend, I can fold it to any angle I want and start making use of it. The nice thing about using this thing is that you can easily wash it or clean it, but I don't normally wash mine. Like this tiny guy you are seeing here, this is the same as this guy you are seeing, but a smaller one. Another nice thing about these beauty blenders is that you can use them as your earbud or use them as a tiny detailing tool. I normally use this to blend very tiny lines or create very nice shades on edges, and it works very fine. I can use this to make very nice regional blendings, like places like this, just as my brush will do. And I use this to blend very large area that needs smooth blendings, like all these areas. I can as well use this tip to make very nice detailed skin pores. This is very nice. Just try and get this and you see exactly what I'm saying. This area as well can be utilized if you know how to make use of this. I normally use this to create very nice faded outlines, and you will be surprised what this does. Maybe one of these days I'm going to make a video showing different ways you make use of your beauty blender. So these are pretty much what I use for my blendings. So now when it comes to the brand of brushes I use, to be honest, I don't have any specific brand that I get. I just go out there and buy any kind of brush that would be very nice, that is firm and soft and fluffy at the front. Some brushes can be very hard at the tip. You don't want to have a brush like that. Something that is firm and at the same time very fluffy, that can bend over so that it doesn't rupture your paper. Same thing to every brush you are seeing here. This is firm and it's not hard at the tip. Honestly speaking, I just go ahead and get any brush that is firm and very soft at the tip, that I can easily use to blend and has the shape that looks like this. Conclusively, if I want to say anything with regards to your blending tools, I strongly recommend that you go get a beauty blender. It's way better than your curtains. For me, that is what I've seen. Please drop a comment in the comment section explaining your opinion with regards to beauty blender or any makeup tools for blending over your curtains or your blending stumps like the one we have here. I don't use blending stumps for blending. I only have them inside my drawing set because they came along with my drawing set. So conclusively, these are all what I use for any kind of blendings when I'm making my drawing. A tiny brush for detailing, a medium sized brush for a regional detailing, this for my background detailing. Moving over to makeup tools here, this is a beauty blender I use for creating very smooth skin values on my paper. These I use to wrap around my hand if I want to have a little bit of control with regards to the shades I create. This I use for tiny details, also a beauty blender like this, but a smaller one for detailing. And this guy here, a replacement to earbuds when I try to get some kind of blendings. So guys, thank you very much for watching. These are all the blending tools I use no matter the kind of artwork I do. Now, if you have any question, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section and I'm going to reply you. With regards to the other blending tools I showed you, which are not really that common, you can go ahead, buy some and test it out and you see how wonderful these things work. So don't forget to click the subscribe button, ring all the bells. Till I see you next time. I'm Blinks and this is Blinks Art. Keep creating.